take what time it takes.
You started by yourself, if I recall.
Yes, indeed. It's kind of living a hermity lifestyle. So I started making the Bad Veins record, and you know, I played a show by myself in Cincinnati. It was fairly well received to a very small crowd. It was fun. I thought it was interesting. I remember somebody, I'll never forget, somebody walked in and looked at my stage setup, and I had this, you know, big flower box and a reel-to-reel and keyboard. And it was basically what it is now, minus the symmetry of Sebastien. And somebody walked in and looked at all my stuff, and they're like, somebody's trying too hard. I'll also never stop giving Sebastien grief about this. He was at that show, and he walked out in the middle of the set.
What?
I just thought it needed a little bit something more, you know?
Oh, right. That seems like a self-serving argument.
No, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, but like I had to go.
So the second member of the band was actually
Irene, the reel-to-reel tape deck, yes.
After the indignity of Sebastien walking out of your show, how did you end up recruiting him into the band?
I changed my mind one day and called him and said, hey, you wanna try playing some music? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he came over, and I literally just took the percussion off the tape, the backing tracks, and then let him play instead. And it was instantly a completely different thing.
How would you describe your drumming style?
I think it's always been passion over form with me. I think it's just...
Animal. It's a Muppet. Animal.
When I'm playing, I'm not thinking like, okay, I got to put it on a show for these people. I just, you know, you just try to play the best you can, and every night you play as hard as you can, and you wake up the next morning with some aches and pains, but you know, hopefully you played a good show the night before.
You're definitely not trying to hide your melodies under like a pile of murk. How do I describe what you were going for?
I really like to experiment with lots of sounds and instrumentation.
But it's great.
Thanks.
It's like,
I mean,
crack cocaine for your ears.
Wow, thanks. I don't know. I think that I had a little bit of like a Daft Punk thing in my head at the time. And I'm like just like a little gritty synth thing. And I think it's funny that I had that little melody in my head when I was writing that song. And I'm like, you know what needs to go here? I'm like, all right, how's that go? And then I did it, like, that's exactly what I was hearing in my head. That doesn't happen very often.
Driving on the morning sun, as busy as I am, through all the things I try to do and all the things I can.
Do you have thoughts about what the second record's gonna be like?
I have some weird concept album kind of ideas in my head.
Concept albums always tricky.
Well, not so much thematically as much as musically. We have a new song that it seems kind of like Golden One to me. It's like, it's got that hook, it's got the drive.
You like to swing for the fences.
Yeah, I mean,
in terms of pop.
I'm a pop writer, I think. I kind of consider myself to be like an introvert and shy, and I always have issues with like being a douchebag. and then to be walking around and playing these big sold-out shows in New York and being called like a pop singer, it seems so funny to me. I'm like, no, I don't sing pop songs. That can't possibly be what I do for a living. But it is, and that it kind of blows my mind.
Is it hard to be in a band with a guy who self-describes as having issues?
No, I knew that going in, so. I think Ben is much more self-aware than he lets on.
I am one self-aware douchebag.
Yeah. Yeah.